Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. And the tide is turning. Things are changing. Litecoin is going to start moving here pretty quickly. We had an amazing session on Clubhouse, thanks to Jay, the marketing CE, or I guess he's a CMO. I think that's his title with the Litecoin Foundation. Carlos Estrada was the co-host, and Johnny gave the 1-2 punch to a Bitcoin maximalist. It was an awesome session. So we're going to talk about that and a lot more. We'll be right back with Johnny Litecoin. You guys give us a like, share this video, and join us for this great session of the new normal. Welcome back, everybody. And Johnny, welcome. Good to see you or hear you again. I got to spend some time with you earlier today. I was poolside and got to jump into the Litecoin Foundation Clubhouse session and was really excited. They got to, or they said they're going to start doing those on a regular basis. I think they said weekly, right?
Yeah. That's, they said they're going to do them weekly. So that's, these are good. This is awesome because it's like, you actually brought it up. There's so much misinformation out there. So you know what? If you got a question, you got a problem, you got a concern, you want to learn more, come into the Clubhouse. I think it's great just to we have so much information in our heads, but to get it out there, we don't always get the chance to do that. So I think doing these weekly is gonna be great. I mean, there's so much going on. The foundation, sometimes the Litecoin Foundation gets a lot of heat sometimes, but I think they do a great job. Look, they're not Litecoin. They're just trying to market Litecoin and do things that help Litecoin. And I love what they do. So I always like to see what's going on, what they're working on today. Jay said that there's going to be a surprise coming up. So I'm excited to see what that is. And, it kind of had me on the edge of my seat now. I want to see what they're working on.
I had heard Dave Schwartz had tweeted the other day something happening with Litecoin, and I kind of thought they would talk about that today. Paulie's asking in the comments, is Clubhouse just for iPhone? I'm not sure if it is or not. Do you know?
I believe Clubhouse is only for iPhone as of right now.
Never happened.
And I think Clubhouse is weird. Like, you have to get a invite from someone that's already on it. You can't just sign up. So I don't use it a lot, but when I went in there, it said I have people I can invite. So if you guys need an invite, DM me and I'll send you one of these invites. I think Twitter Spaces is also kind of very similar to Clubhouse. Oh. And I think Twitter Spaces is
I've never even heard of Twitter Spaces.
It's just kind of another similar type of platform. They're cool little platforms, how you just kind of go in with your profile and you're just in there, and it's kind of like a room. So it's all it's cool to see this tech evolve in these social media platforms and the way to communicate and get the word out there. And this is really peer-to-peer information sharing. I mean, uncensored, unfiltered. You get to see what people are thinking. And, we had a guy come in at the end today. We don't know if he was a troll or whatnot, but he was kind of saying he asked if, in his view, Litecoin won't be needed once Lightning Network is out. And I kind of gave him my passionate views on why it will only be more needed and why that was not a good argument.
The irony of that for me is that Lightning Network only exists because of Litecoin. I mean, maybe I'm way off on that, but he was saying that that they were going to send Satoshis on Lightning Network, or that was what he was seeing. And you just kept telling him like that. Even Michael Saylor was saying, no, they're sending USD
Yeah.
Lightning.
I mean, I operate based on facts. So a lot of these people are living in like a fantasy land. And I'm like, no, let's go to what people are saying. So the first things first, no one was attacked more than me from the Bitcoin maximalist community because they said, no, you don't want to, you want to hodl. You never want to spend your Bitcoin, right? So that's coming from, so they're like, no, you don't spend your Bitcoin, right? That was always their thing. So I was like, well, we're about freedom. We don't want to go back into fiat. So that was always the maximalist answer was no, pay with a credit card, pay with Venmo, pay with PayPal, hodl your Bitcoin, right? And then they would always tout Lightning Network. I'm super bullish on Lightning Network and what's to come with it, but it's being built out in my view because of what they're saying to send dollars over Lightning Network. Like Michael Saylor said it himself on an interview a few weeks ago. He said, US dollars not going anywhere. He said in the future, people will be able to send US dollar across the globe and Bitcoin will be that underlying settlement layer. Obviously, so this means dollars can be sent on Lightning Network. All right. We're seeing it with that Strike app that Jack Mahler's built. You don't have to own Bitcoin in that app. You can't send Bitcoin to that app. You link a bank account and you send value out through Lightning. That's sending dollars across Lightning.
So you're sending U.S. digital, like the centralized bank, the U.S. CBDCs?
No, you're just sending dollars. You're just linking a bank account and sending dollars out.
Sending dollars.
I actually did a video showing how this works in my Twitter profile, so we could show how it works. I'm super bullish on Lightning Network. I'm super bullish on it. It's just that what Litecoin's going for, even though Litecoin integrates with Lightning Network, I just feel like Litecoin in itself is going a little bit of a different direction to be able to be a world money on the base layer, that layer one as well.
Okay. I'm trying to find that video.
Sorry, my dog was freaking out. That was like,
no, you're good. You're good.
Always when the video
here it is.
I feel like because a lot of packages come around now and there's like an Amazon or FedEx guy and he's like freaking out at him.
That's all right. We know you're safe there at Johnny Litecoin's house. Okay, so here it says showcasing payments to a payment processor, how the InStrike app US dollars move over Lightning Network settlement and settle instantly. Immediately afterwards, payment is sent out of the wallet of Satoshi app to pay a Lightning invoice generated of the Fold app.
So I tweeted this because I love it as a payments processor. So I love what it's doing. So if you want to click on the video and show it, Lisa.
Oh my goodness.
It looks like it's actually kind of formatted weird on there.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can. There, maybe if I click it there and then do.
Okay, that's better. Okay, so you see, okay, so I'm in my bank account. Okay, I confirm, I deposit this is Strike app right now. I have a bank account linked. I deposited US dollars into Strike app. Okay, now I go into wallet of Satoshi. Okay, I create a Lightning invoice. Reason I didn't send it just to the Fold app, I wanted to show how things settle instantly on Lightning Network. Okay, so I go to withdraw. Okay, pay. Okay, I pay that Lightning invoice. I didn't own Bitcoin in the first place in there, did I? Mm-hmm. Now let's stop the video right there, Lisa.
Okay.
So right there, bank account was linked, Lightning invoice was paid. Okay? There was no owning Bitcoin in the first place. This is what's been fast-tracked by Visa, why they're so bullish on the Lightning Network, okay? This kid, Jack Mallers, also showed this integration in one of the biggest banks app, all right? He integrated this into there. It must have been in beta or whatever. It hasn't came out yet, but he tweeted a video about it. So obviously they're bullish on this for that. It's not so we can have freedom and all these people can own Bitcoin. Now don't get me wrong. Bitcoin is securing this Lightning Network, but where they're bullish on this as far as the institutions, Visa, all these people, it's to do just this. So we saw this. So this is where with Litecoin,
this cuts the banks out, right? The big banking fees. It keeps where you've told me before, Visa, the fee is actually really small, and this would have a small Lightning Network fee and a Visa fee, or just the Lightning Network fee?
I guess in Visa's eyes, what if you can just send money onto Visa through Lightning?
So you wouldn't have the Wells Fargo or the whatever.
Right. Correct. Right now, when a credit card is paid, there's interchange fees. If you actually, Lisa, Google's, all right, I don't want to leave this. So basically, let's just finish this up real quick. Okay. So the thing that I keep saying is, where are we going with Litecoin that's different? Now you see in this scenario how Lightning is being used, but a bank account was linked. There was no owning Bitcoin initially in that situation, right? So that doesn't really, in that scenario, and where all these fast tracking, that still gives the power to the companies, in my view. With Litecoin, we can hold Litecoin, pay with Litecoin. We have the power now. We're holding it in a decentralized blockchain. This is where the maximalists always fought me, and where I said I felt like a lot of them were paid actors of the bad guys to put misinformation out there to distract everyone. Because if what we were trying to do caught too much, in other words, got too much momentum, it puts more pressure now on the bad guys in the system, right? Now people can see, well, holding these cryptos and these good like Bitcoin and Litecoin, holding Litecoin's a viable option to make payments and to use, right? So obviously they don't want people thinking that. They want people to think, oh no, Dogecoin and Elon Musk is going to go on Saturday Night Live and make a big joke about all of this. That's what they want, obviously. So, okay. So Visa, where would they be interested in this whole thing? Simple. They have this Strike app on the Visa Fast Track program. Obviously, they have big interest in this. So Google search right now, Lisa, Visa interchange fees. And guys, I operate on facts only. I don't operate on anything but facts. This is stuff from this is Visa Public, okay? This is Visa's own website. Visa USA interchange reimbursement fees. These are the Visa interchange fees. Now, these interchange fees go back to the bank that issued the card. Visa does not make the money on these fees. Visa makes a licensing fee on every transaction, okay? And they also make a couple cents. These interchange fees go to the issuer of the card. So if you see here, certain cards are regulated where it says Visa check card, okay? This was regulated stuff through Dodd-Frank and what they specifically, the Durbin Amendment. This happened back in 2011. Now keep scrolling down, Lisa. There's tables. This is pages. Keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. There's tons of these different fees, right? Now it's like stop right here, right? Just tons of different fees. And it's all based on different stuff. Is it Visa Signature Preferred, Visa Infinity, traditional rewards? Is it a supermarket this? Is it a small ticket this? Is it regulated this? So when people say, what's the rate for Visa? There is no such thing. There's all these different rates on the wholesale level. And these interchange rates are paid to the banks that issue the card. So in Visa's eyes, if they can get rid of the banks that issued the card in the equation, now there's all this money up in the air that either now if something like Lightning Network comes into play, you have virtually no cost. Now, Visa has a lot more room to profit. Visa can actually come out smelling like a rose. They can profit more and charge the business less. That's kind of like a win-win. And as a payment processor, I actually look in a scenario to make more money on the situation, but to charge the business less. If they can pay less and I can figure out how to make more in that situation, that's a win-win. Guys, I'm not a communist, right? I'm a for-profit venture. Johnny's a capitalist. I want to make money, right? So, but I'm all about, and people always scratch their heads. They always say, well, why do you want to push for Litecoin, this and that? I push for freedom. People fight to use this legacy credit card system. I let him use it. There goes the dog again. Sorry, another.
The dog is just agreeing with you.
Someone, he loves it. He loves it.
He loves it. He's agreeing with you.
So I let people use the legacy system all day. Yeah. You know what? I make the toll on that when they use my system and my gateways, right? Now, these systems let people pay with cash. I don't make any money when someone pays with cash.
Right.
Now, since I love freedom, I say if you want to pay with a decentralized crypto treated like cash, I'm happy not to make any money on that transaction, right? Now, in that scenario, it's a lot more involved to take a payment on a decentralized blockchain and validate it, right? What'll take off in these systems being natively integrated is payment networks that then charge you a toll. Lightning will be integrated. Flex is integrated. Different payment networks will integrate into these systems. Toll is charged, right? Now, the key is with these processors and people like Visa, there's less middlemen involved now. They don't have to pay the bank this big fee. So the bank is really the odd man out in a lot of scenarios. Now, where they're not the odd man out, everyone's money is in the bank. People there's a banking fetish out there by the public. Mm-hmm. People are no one wants to leave their bank as far as people that I see. People do anything their bank tells them, that's where their money is. And that's just how it is in America. The younger people that are coming up aren't thinking that way. They know Venmo is the bank to them. Cash App's the bank to them. So we're at kind of a crossroads of people that grew up in a certain era when all they knew was the bank. And most people, when you really try to talk to them about Bitcoin and not the bank, they get very angry They think it's like, to them, the bank's like American, right? And so it's hard to meet them and let them know, no, the bank's anti-American. They're the enemy of you.
Yeah.
They're the enemy of America, right? They're not the Federal Reserve. That's not American, right? Bitcoin's as American of an idea as it gets. The best man for the job. It's a true capitalist thing, right? So that's why when anybody comes out against Bitcoin, they're a communist. They're a Marxist. They're an enemy, right? They are an enemy. So if they come out against Bitcoin, you are an enemy. And because you're going against freedom.
Yeah. Well, and that sovereignty, and that's what I was talking about. I was trying to be careful because I know that, I have definitely my opinion about freedom, and I'm known to be a little opinionated about things. And so we were on this Litecoin Foundation Clubhouse talk, but Carlos brought up the way that Powell has been talking about and giving information about cryptocurrency and what he had talked about. And I said, but you have to remember that there's a lot of disinformation out there. And he had brought up what he talked about today. And I said, but just a few days ago, he was talking about central banking, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and he called them cryptocurrencies. So out of one side of his mouth, he's saying, CBDCs are necessary, and calling them cryptocurrencies, trying to confuse people, saying they're the same thing. And then a couple days later, he's saying that cryptocurrencies are, irrelevant and useless and, obsolete. And so there's that message trying to confuse the public about things, because they don't want people to know the difference they want people to think this. Go ahead and keep that dirty fiat that we can manipulate. Don't know that you could have silver in your own possession that can't be manipulated. Well, kind of. So, I mean, that's kind of that message that I was trying to get across.
Yeah.
Is that people need that education.
It's so much misinformation out there. One thing's for certain that we can take away from the events of the last year or year and a half. The governments around the world and central banks hate our guts as the citizens. They despise us. They detest us. These are the elites. We're the peasants in their eyes. They hate our guts. I'm going to repeat that again. I don't want to be too extreme with this. But what they've done to us has not been good. Oh, they're taking our freedoms away. We're seeing this. So you give them an inch, they take a mile. So whatever they say, do the opposite. So, obviously they're not gonna come out and say, yeah, Bitcoin or Litecoin and these decentralized cryptos are good. So that's the one thing I know is that they're going to do whatever they can to control us more. And that's where they want to take this. And that one creepy fat guy, I think he was from the Bank of International Settlements. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He said that that's the point of these CBDCs. I mean, they're going to make them expire where you got to spend the money by a certain time. So people are going to get trapped in this system. And they're going to
China already did that. They did that to try to, stimulate their economy. They put expiration dates on it so that you had to use that stimulus yuan or yen or whatever it was, their CBDC, or it would expire. So they were trying to have this fake economy, this fake stimulus, or it runs out. It's like a Kohl's bucks,
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
I can go off on a tangent, but I don't want to talk about too much stuff with the jab and all that, and the agenda of. Should we talk about that VAERS thing or no?
If you want to, I wanted to touch on the arrest, but that just take a couple minutes. I just want everybody to be careful. We know that we're going into the next bull run. July, lots of things are happening. There's arrest happenings. And even in crypto.
Let's talk about our buddy that we put in the.
Talk about that.
Yes, I actually knew Jorg as he went. Jorg Malt.
I was introduced to him and thought he was a nice guy. I had no idea.
Right. Well, I knew him from the conferences. He was at a few conferences, and I was at them, and he was a speaker. I was a speaker. So if you're a speaker at a conference, you're kind of like mingling with the other people that speak or whatever. So let me give you my thoughts on him. And I actually always liked his message. He had a message of freedom. He did try to talk about Bitcoin and Litecoin as a form of freedom and sound money. So he really did have a good message, and he was actually a pretty good speaker. That was the positive about him. So the negative came. He got kind of exposed by Kenny Bozak, who kind of called him out for being a scammer because he was what was he doing? Oh, he was saying he was not Satoshi, but he was the founder of Bitcoin or something.
He was a co-creator and
co-creator, founder.
These old pictures with him and Andreas Antonopoulos. Andreas said that he did not know him, that he and I saw pictures that he had that it looked like that he had pictures with Andreas and other people. So, I don't know all that kind of stuff. I can't validate any of that stuff.
So my thing with
this article says that what he was arrested for was that he had created this fund, this Bitcoin pension, and he was defrauding people charged with defrauding people, over 50 people, for $2.14 million with a scheme dubbed the Bitcoin Pension Project. So he told the investors that the funds obtained would go to Bitcoin miners in Sweden. 40% of the funds were allegedly kept in a safe account, but in 2020, the pension stopped operations, and investors called it a scam. So investigators claimed the self-proclaimed Satoshi did not invest the funds into mining, and that he's being charged for his promises of big returns. So back in 2019, the Vegas Blockchain Week event, Morg told people that he held more than 250,000 Bitcoin. However, despite Molt's claims, his ex-wife filmed a YouTube video claiming he didn't even own a computer in 2008. So I don't know about all that. I just
could have. So he never. I don't ever remember him talking about this or bringing it up to anybody that was at the conference that I knew. He could have been keeping this quiet from people that knew about crypto and targeting just totally like noobs and unsuspecting.
I do know that he was working with some people that I know about this Satoshi school.
Yep, I remember he had something with Satoshi School. It's supposed to be about educating people about Bitcoin. The thing with him, so I take everyone's story with a grain of salt. Being in sales, you're exposed to a lot of people. Most people lie about stuff in their past, and that's just people want to make themselves feel good. I'm just kind of focused on now and going forward. So for him, compared to, I guess, other like scammers or whatever, he didn't, like I said, he didn't have a bad message at his conference. His message was freedom. It was sound money. It was to put the power back in the hands of people. He wasn't talking about any other coins. He talked about Bitcoin and Litecoin. So he wasn't like this Craig Wright guy where he said, oh, it's this other coin. So again, I guess being in the crypto space, having people so against you, you kind of pick your battle. So I always found him to be pleasant, but
well, and my other part that I thought was, it was my understanding that they were calling him out because he was using words like co-founder, whatever. His English is not really good, to be totally honest.
Right. Yeah.
And he, from, pictures, and I mean, I don't know, he could have been, it was my understanding he was a hacker and could have been involved in, trying to hack some code. And so to his, that he could have worked on that as a hacker or whatever. And so I felt like it may have been a misunderstanding of like words or whatever. And then it just kind of got blown, went crazy.
I don't focus too much on people's, especially in crypto, like, so many times when I would be walking around talking to businesses, a lot of people are just so like, pieces of crap. A lot of people, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah, I bought it at this. I sold at 20,000. This was back like a couple
embellishing.
Years ago.
Yeah,
like they timed everything perfect. I was just like, oh wow, you seem like a really smart guy. And meanwhile, they'd be in like a business that was like falling apart. And it's like, well, what did you sell? $20 worth of Bitcoin that you figured it out so much? And like, do you like, so like, I guess when people have the right message now, I kind of tend to not, and maybe this is a flaw I have, where if people have the right message now, I tend to not really care as much what they did in the past. Cause I'm like, well, we gotta like pick our battles now. And there's so much agenda going on that if people at least have the right message. But I mean, if he was scamming people in this thing, then he deserved to be arrested. I'm not arguing he doesn't deserve to be arrested.
I don't know.
I didn't investigate the guy, so I don't know.
It's kind of just kind of a sad thing, but I knew a lot of our friends had met him, and anyway, that kind of thing.
Wonderful hair he had, I guess. The one takeaway, what great hair as a man with thinning hair like myself.
You had hair envy. He was always really kind to me, and I didn't know. He did tell me that he had all that Bitcoin and talked about, and I met his assistant. She seemed like a really nice lady.
I didn't believe him.
I never heard about I didn't believe him.
I didn't believe that he had that Bitcoin.
He would stay. Well, why was he staying in Airbnbs with like all of us
didn't add up to me. I didn't believe it.
That wealthy, wouldn't you be staying in some penthouse or flying on a private jet somewhere or something like that? So it didn't make a lot of sense.
No, like I said, I didn't believe his story, but I didn't focus on his story either. I kind of just tried to like ignore his story, and I found him to be a good speaker because he talked about freedom and Bitcoin, and he wanted decentralized, and he wanted people to actually know how to use Bitcoin and stuff. So I was like, he has a good message. I kind of was like focused on that. And but no, his backstory, anybody that tells you they have a lot of Bitcoin is probably lying. People that do.
Why would you say that you have it if you really had that much?
Unless you're like Michael Saylor and you're like, it's like your company and you're like one of these people. If you're really somebody you meet at like a conference and you're bragging about your like Bitcoin, like, yeah, come on.
Right. You already have private security everywhere you go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so I guess in life, guys, just take people's backstory with a grain of salt. I wouldn't focus on people's backstory. Like, I don't care what people like, unless it's like, obviously they did bad stuff. Like if they're like a freaking pervert, okay, that's one thing. Like now let's talk about your backstory. You know what I mean? But
that's right.
Like people would always like, I used to be really into like lifting weights, and people always come up to me and they would tell me what they used to lift, and they looked like complete hell. And I would just be like,
You're like,
oh, wow, that's good. And I would just
what do you
like
do now?
ignore it completely because I would just be like, and most people that would tell you that would say it so they felt good because they'd see that I was lifted and they'd feel bad about themselves. So I always just take people's backstory with, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Like, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? What do you plan to do going forward? What are you doing to help freedom? I want to be focused on people that are helping freedom and helping, actually promote good stuff going forward, not the agenda of the idiots.
Well, I guess that's why I wanted to bring this up. Just I know that, we're in this big time of change and we're seeing things happening. I mean, with the, rioting in France and Greece, people standing up to the jab and the things that are going on, that we probably shouldn't talk about or we'll lose my channel. But,
What the
so we're
hell?
going through this change and I just want people to be careful and, think for yourself and really watch out for when something sounds too good to be true. Sometimes it is. And, we're going to be introduced to people, and even people with the best intention, are going to introduce you to people in this space. And don't just assume, like I was introduced to this guy by friends, and because I trusted those friends, I automatically trusted this guy. Thankfully, I did not give him any Bitcoin for his pension fund.
You
But,
trusted him, but you didn't give him any money. All you did
I
was
didn't
trust
fall
him as
for
far
it.
as like
Right.
you were
I was
social with
friendly.
him at a
Yes.
conference. You were
Right.
friendly to him. So that's not
Yeah.
really that's
I
just
just want
being
everyone to be careful. Yeah.
yeah. Definitely, guys. Always wonder, like, if somebody comes into your life randomly, if something happens randomly, always have a baseline, and you should always look at kind of like math and statistics to validate stuff. If something statistically or mathematically seems unlikely, there's a good chance it is. So that's why I say a lot of times around like a certain events and things that happen, when there's other things that happen around it, it's kind of like, well, statistically, a lot of this isn't likely. Was this planned? Was this fake? Was it a false flag? So definitely be careful who comes into your life. So I wanted to we were talking about this. Guys,
We won't say it, but you
have
might
this,
look at it.
look, guys, review this info. This is the statistics. This is the data. Have this info ready for the people that come around to tell you,
The trick-or-treaters.
why you should do certain things. I would be polite to the people and friendly. And look, you're going to get farther with them if you want to explain things to them of what the real truth is by being sweet rather than being mean. So I want them I want to see what they have to say about this. I think most of them don't know about this. And if they tell you they don't know about this, well, I would have a real problem with that if I was you guys out there. Because if they're trying to tell you how safe certain things are, then why would they not? This should be this should be like their cover sheet of information that they have. So I would just have this info ready. You can see it'll report on everything, as far as health, bad things that I don't even want to say it, bad things that happen to people from the what. But and you could even search some people that actually posted the data from here, so you could see screenshots of it to see the actual numbers. Usually when it comes out new, people will post the most recent numbers. Have this stuff ready to go. It's best to work off of facts. People can't deny facts. This is a .gov website. So they tell you, no, that's conspiracy. No, that's not true. No, we're trying to spread misinformation. no, we're not. We could tell them, you guys actually, I would go on a limb. They might be liable criminally for not knowing this information or having this information. So if you whipped out a camera and started filming yourself and you got them to admit they didn't know this, I would think that would be kind of bad, because as somebody telling you about something for health, I can't go out and talk about health things because I'm not a doctor or whatever. Like I can't talk about certain financial things because I'm not a financial advisor. So if they're out telling you certain things and they don't have the facts to back it up, I mean, I would talk to a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but there could be some type of trouble they could get in, or just won't look good is what I'm thinking. So be polite, guys. That would be and everyone could go about this differently. Lisa, I love your the no trespassing signs too. Let's try different tactics.
Everybody do what makes you feel safe. Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing,
informed and be prepared, I think.
If you want a tactic to use that I would start with asking the people, just to kick bits with them, shoot some conversation, ask them just if they're familiar with the events of September 2019 in the repo market, what happened with that. Because I feel like what's happened in the last year and a half, is all to do with that. And this events of September 2019, the repo market blowing apart, they had to fix things up major league behind the scenes. And everything we're seeing now is because of that. It's nothing to do with people actually, not feeling well.
Right.
No, that's like the farthest thing from it.
This is, really good, solid information. And like you said, it's a .gov website. It's nothing to argue about. It's just facts.
Nothing to argue about. It's just facts. And again, then if they, like I said, you got to be polite to the people, so you can, if you are so confrontational, you won't even be able to get to this point.
Right.
If you're nice and trick them, they're going to think maybe you want to take the thing. Who knows? Who knows what you can fool these people into thinking? So that would be use a little reverse psychology on them would be my advice.
Get more flies with honey, isn't that what they're saying?
Or with sugar.
That's for sure. All right, you guys. Well, we gave you lots of great information. Once again, if you need a Clubhouse invite, DM Johnny or me on Twitter. I will do my best to share any invites that I have. And we're going to start doing those once a week, I think is what they said. And I think that's going to be fun, getting those updates on. Today we talked about MWeb and the now payment option, and lots of great information on that. And so we'll have more of those coming up. So good stuff happening.
Quick shout out too to Crypto Bucks. I'm wearing the t-shirt today. Another awesome payments app that supports Litecoin. Cool thing about Crypto Bucks, it'll convert it and deposit the business US dollar. So this is now this I love, because this gives us what we want, which we can hold Litecoin or Bitcoin, and then the business can get what they want, which most businesses need dollars just to pay the bills because they're not hodlers. They're just trying to keep the lights on. So if you want to buy a motorcycle, a car, some big purchase, and you want to pay with Litecoin, and they say, oh, no, they're giving you all excuses. Guys, send them a link for Crypto Bucks. Say Crypto Bucks will deposit you dollar for dollar. You have no risk of fraud, and you're going to pay no fees. So if they're fighting to get your credit card, you should tell them you could save a few percent by doing it this way. So on you're saying a $50,000 purchase, the business is going to save like $1,500. That could be the salesperson's commission right there. I mean, probably more than their commission.
Good to know. Yeah.
So
good to know.
Want to shout them out. We could talk more about them next week or the week after, but good guys over there at Crypto Bucks. I'm rocking the hat too. I'm just wearing this backwards. So
Good
sweet
stuff. I
hat
like
lady
it. I like it.
stuff.
Hey, and you guys remember we're doing, we're trying to build up Patreon. We're going to start doing, well, we've got a big announcement tomorrow on Happy Hour for some plans to do some meetups, and we're going to be sponsoring those through the Patreon. And so this month we've got a giveaway from Fingies, a Digibyte poker chip, and a Digibyte zinc coin. So everybody that is a Patreon member is going to be entered in a drawing to win that. So we'll do monthly giveaways, and that'll be a way that we support that. Right now we're looking at 4 different locations, and maybe possibly a 5th. So we'll see how that goes. Be announcing that tomorrow on Happy Hour. So we'll see you guys there. Everybody take care. Remember to love one another.
Later, guys.